Let's get into some religious stuff. 4 pieces, fairly short. But again, these are something that people need to consider. Don't shoot the messenger. Go and investigate yourself. It's all there. If you look for yourself. Now, we all learn something new every day. And I learned many things new in the past couple of months. And certainly a whole heap in the last 5 or 6 years. But this came up, and here's a new one for you all. All religions were a human experiment, all of them. And it was designed to see how people would react to it. Now, essentially, what it was doing was disconnecting you from source. And this has been done over a long period of time, long period. And the outcome then would be we forget about source altogether and our connection, and an eventual worship program to the false gods, be it Ra, Baphomet, Isis, Horus. And then this took on new forms as the experiment had obviously worked in some aspect in the past, as memory of our connection to source faded over time. Except around 2,000 years ago, it took a really bad turn for the worst. In came the Christian religion and Catholicism. Experiment, not religion. And Constantine added all new layers when he was in Jerusalem. Not in the modern day Jerusalem in Israel, but Jerusalem was in Constantinople back then. It's a transient place. Now, previously, Jerusalem or Jerusalem was in Russia under the guise of the Rus, the Aryans and the Urs. And around 1100 AD, they then splintered the Christian group off, and there was what was known as a Muslim Islam sect, part of a Christian group. Separate religion, Muhammad and all separate? No, it came out of the Christian experiment in the 1100s. Then in the 1500s, protesting Catholics then morphed into a Protestant religion. There was no Protestant religion. It was Catholics protesting in the 1500s against the Catholic Church, who were committing untold fraud, crime and corruption. Nothing's changed 500 years later. It's all part of the same thing. One giant experiment. Now, all of them are superseded in the experiment by the Torah book, which is for Hebrews only, and the Talmud book, which is for non-Hebrews. And it's my understanding that the original Hebrews are Anunnaki, either in DNA, fully, or are ran by them. Both are known as the chosen ones. Who told them they were the chosen ones? Under source, there are no special ones. We were all created equal. And someone comes in with a hierarchical system, they're going against your real God, if you want to use that term, which is source, which is neither male nor female. It's not called Yahweh, it's not called Yeshua, or all the other names. It just is. It's not male or female. Hierarchy is the reign of the ego for those who thought they were above creation. This is where you get all the solar gods like Ra and Horus and all those people. And the Greek and the Roman gods, they all thought that they were source. They're not. Rest assured, all of those people will meet their maker soon and find out their own folly and karma. But all religions was an experiment which went badly wrong for the people on this planet. Now the key is to reverse that and trigger memory of being in connection with source, which you're supposed to go each at the end of each lifetime. Many of these so-called gods have learned ways to cheat creation, where they have longer lives, so they don't go back to source so they can continue being gods. They're not really. It's all fake. Like I said, it's up to you whether you believe it or not. You can go and investigate some of the details yourself. But something you also need to ponder on to do with religion. Now, you've been told it was all an experiment, and it's up to you whether you accept that or not. But you look at some of the terminology they use. The body of Christ means entering a church. But didn't Jesus turn around and say, you don't have to go into church? the body of Christ means entering a church. Then you drink the blood of Christ and eat the flesh during Mass. Do you think that's normal? When it's overviewed, entering the body means a walk-in, and then you consume it. Is that not the very definition of a parasite? So you're entering the body of Christ by going into a church. So you are a walk-in, and then you consume the body of Christ and the blood. Parasite, same thing, it's like the archons. It's all very lower astral level to me. Perhaps that's what it was designed for, is to keep people in the lower astral stream where the archons could feed off us or loose us like batteries. Again, something to ponder on for yourself. Now, according to scholars, one of the earliest Hebrew books was the book of Esther, E-S-T-H-E-R. Now, it was such an important book, a bit like Jesus. Why did he change the name? Well, they later renamed that book to the Children of Israel. Except the funny thing is Esther was Persian, and so Iran, which means land of the Aryans. For those of you who don't understand that and think that they're all Nazis, go and watch the series I did listen to the two-part series From Russia with Love. Explains who the real Aryans are, and it's nothing to do with Germans. So this biggest book, the book of Esther, which they changed the name to include the name Israel, which never existed prior to 1947, and the lead character, Esther, who's the queen, was Persian. It's funny how his story books change narrative over time, isn't it? Now, this next passage that I found covers the piece I did in From Russia with Love, and also the Humanity Unplugged 1 and 2, where I mentioned the real Jesus being Radomir and why he was hunted down and killed in 1086, where it says the conversion of the Rus, the success of the conversion of the Bulgarians facilitated the conversion of other East Slavic peoples. That's the Aryan, or the Slavic Aryan. Most notably the Rus, the predecessors of the Belarusians, the Russians and the Ukrainians, as well as Rusins. By the beginning of the 11th century, which is 10-something, most of what they called pagan Slavic world, including Russia, Bulgaria and Serbia, had been converted to Byzantine Christianity. By the end of the 11th century, the real Jesus, which is Radomir, was killed. Like I said, history has a way of being written in a way that distracts from the real truth. Over time, we'll all find that out.